Ever wondered how our muscles work or what they're made of? Well, you're in the right place. Muscles, the incredible machinery of our bodies, are responsible for every little movement we make. From the blink of an eye to the beating of our hearts, muscles are constantly at work. On a broader level, muscles maintain our posture, generate body heat, and allow us to move, talk, and breathe. Now, the human body has over 600 muscles, and they can be categorized into three major types: skeletal, cardiac, and smooth muscles. First, let's talk about skeletal muscles. These are the ones we're most familiar with. They're the muscles we consciously control to perform actions like lifting a cup of coffee or typing on a keyboard. They're attached to our bones, and when they contract, they pull on the bones to produce movement. Next, we have cardiac muscles. As the name suggests, these muscles are found in the heart. Unlike skeletal muscles, cardiac muscles contract involuntarily. They rhythmically contract and relax, pumping blood throughout our bodies. Lastly, we have smooth muscles. These are found in the walls of organs and structures such as the esophagus, stomach, intestines, bronchi, uterus, urethra, and blood vessels. They're responsible for involuntary functions like moving food through our digestive system and regulating blood flow. Each type of muscle has a unique structure and function, which is intricately designed for its specific role in the body. For example, skeletal muscles are long and cylindrical, allowing them to contract quickly and powerfully. Cardiac muscles, on the other hand, are shorter and branched, enabling them to contract in a coordinated and rhythmic manner. Muscles are not only the powerhouses of our bodies, but they're also the control centers and the unsung heroes. They're involved in every aspect of our daily lives, from our movements and our expressions to the very beating of our hearts. So muscles are more than just what gives us our strength and shape. Ready to dive deeper? Skeletal muscles. They're what you flex in the mirror. But there's so much more to them than meets the eye. They're composed of bundles of muscle fibers, each a long cylindrical cell containing multiple nuclei. These fibers are made up of smaller units called myofibrils, which are in turn composed of even tinier components known as sarcomeres. Sarcomeres are the basic functional units of a muscle, the real powerhouses. Each sarcomere is bordered by two Z lines, and within this space you'll find a neat arrangement of protein filaments, actin and myosin. The actin filaments, thin and delicate, are anchored to the Z lines, while the thicker myosin filaments are located in the center. The interaction between these two proteins, actin and myosin, is the heart of muscle contraction. In a process propelled by the energy currency of the cell, ATP, the myosin heads latch onto the actin filaments and pull them towards the center of the sarcomere. This shortening of the sarcomere is what causes a muscle to contract. When you're lifting a weight or doing a push-up, thousands of these sarcomeres are shortening simultaneously, causing the overall muscle to contract. But it's not a one-size-fits-all operation. The force of a muscle contraction can vary. It can be fine-tuned, depending on the number of muscle fibers that are activated, and the frequency of nerve signals that trigger the contractions. But how do nerve signals reach the muscle fibers, you may wonder? Well, that's where the neuromuscular junction comes into play. It's a specialized synapse where a motor neuron and a muscle fiber meet. The neuron releases a chemical messenger, acetylcholine, which binds to receptors on the muscle fiber, triggering the contraction process. So every time you flex, remember, it's not just about strength, it's a molecular marvel. Behind that bicep curl or tricep dip, there's a world of cellular machinery working tirelessly, ensuring that you can lift, push, pull, and flex. And all this happens in the blink of an eye, every time you decide to move a muscle. It's truly phenomenal, isn't it? Now that we know how muscles contract, let's talk about what controls this process. Our story begins in the nervous system, where a signal called a nerve impulse originates. This impulse travels along the nerve until it reaches a special place called the neuromuscular junction. Think of the neuromuscular junction as a meeting point, a sort of control center where the nervous system communicates with the muscular system. In this control center, the nerve doesn't physically connect with the muscle fiber. Instead, they are separated by a tiny gap known as the synaptic cleft. It's here that the nerve impulse has to take a leap of faith. When the nerve impulse arrives, it triggers the release of a chemical messenger, acetylcholine, into the synaptic cleft. This acetylcholine then binds to receptors on the muscle fiber, like a key fitting into a lock. Once the key turns the lock, it sets in motion a cascade of events inside the muscle fiber. An electrical signal sweeps along the muscle fiber, penetrating deep into its core through a network of tiny channels. This electrical signal triggers the release of calcium ions, the real heroes of our story. These calcium ions bind to the muscle proteins, enabling them to slide past each other and cause the muscle fiber to contract. This entire process, from nerve impulse to muscle contraction, happens in the blink of an eye. It's an intricate dance of biochemistry and biophysics, carried out with precision and speed. But what happens when the nerve impulse stops? Well, the muscle fiber relaxes. Acetylcholine is broken down and reabsorbed. The calcium ions are pumped back into storage, and the muscle proteins slide back to their relaxed position. And so, the muscle fiber waits for the next nerve impulse to arrive, ready to spring into action at a moment's notice. This is the power of the neuromuscular junction, the control center of muscle contraction. It's a marvel of nature, a testament to the complexity and elegance of our bodies. It's like a symphony, with the neuromuscular junction conducting the orchestra of muscle fibers. Did you know not all muscle fibers are alike? Let's talk about the two types and why they matter. Dive a little deeper into the world of muscles and you'll discover a fascinating dichotomy. Muscle fibers aren't all the same. They are broadly classified into two types based on their morphological and histochemical properties: type 1 and type 2 fibers. Type 1 fibers, also known as slow twitch fibers, are the marathon runners of the muscle world. They are built for endurance and sustained activity. They have a high capacity for generating energy aerobically, meaning they use oxygen to meet their energy demands. These fibers are packed with mitochondria, the energy factories of the cell, and are rich in myoglobin, a protein that helps transport oxygen. This gives them a darker appearance under the microscope. On the other hand, type 2 fibers, or fast twitch fibers, are the sprinters. They generate energy anaerobically, that is, without using oxygen. These fibers are designed for short, intense bursts of activity. They contract quickly and powerfully, but they fatigue faster too. They contain fewer mitochondria and less myoglobin, giving them a lighter appearance. Now, why does all this matter? Well, the type of fiber predominant in a muscle can determine its function and role in physical activities. Endurance sports like long-distance running or cycling primarily use type 1 fibers, while explosive activities like weightlifting or sprinting rely heavily on type 2 fibers. But it's not just about sports. Even as you're sitting and listening to this, your postural muscles, which work continuously to keep you upright, are mainly composed of type 1 fibers. Conversely, the muscles you use to blink or to quickly grab something are filled with type 2 fibers. So whether you're sprinting or lifting, it's these fibers that are powering you through. The balance of these fibers in your muscles is dictated by your genetics, your age, and your training, and understanding them can help you tailor your workouts for optimal performance. So whether you're sprinting or lifting, it's these fibers that are powering you through. Finally, let's not forget about the other two types of muscles, the cardiac and smooth muscles. These are the unsung heroes, the ones that work tirelessly without us even realizing. Take cardiac muscle, for instance. Found only in the heart, its cells are highly specialized, interlocking with one another, creating a strong and resilient network. This allows for the coordinated contraction that keeps our heart beating, day in and day out. Smooth muscle, on the other hand, is found in the walls of organs and structures like the esophagus, stomach, intestines, bronchi, uterus, urethra, and blood vessels. Unlike skeletal muscle, it's not under our conscious control. It contracts slowly, but can remain contracted for a long time without tiring. Both these types of muscles have unique innervation mechanisms. The cardiac muscle is stimulated by the heart's natural pacemaker, while smooth muscle is controlled by the autonomic nervous system. So from your heart to your stomach, these muscles are quietly keeping you alive and well. So there you have it, the incredible world of muscles. We've journeyed through the intricate architecture of skeletal muscles, delved into the molecular mechanisms that allow them to contract and power our everyday movements. We've seen how these muscles are innervated, how the neuromuscular junction enables communication between the nervous system and our muscles. We've also distinguished between the slow twitch type Y and fast twitch type 2 muscle fibers, each with their unique morphological and histochemical properties that allow for different types of physical activity. And let's not forget our exploration of the heart's cardiac muscles and the body's smooth muscles, each with their own unique structure, function, and innervation that keep our bodies running smoothly without us even realizing it. Our muscles are truly a miracle of biology, a testament to the complexity and ingenuity of the human body. Subscribe for more because you won't find me later. Join us as we continue to explore the amazing human body.